All right, Greg Peace.
Yes,
We are
ma'am.
so excited to introduce you to the community, to the Ford community. So, tell me about yourself. First of all, how long have you been doing your thing in fashion?
Yes, yes. Well, glad to be here with you guys. Definitely an honor. But as far as how long I've been in fashion, I want to say it's going on about 6 years at this point. So, 2020, I think when everybody was kind of getting into
Yep.
that creative
Mm-hmm.
zone, so to speak, or the entrepreneurship, things of that nature. That's kind of when this thing kicked off for sure.
Okay, good, good, good. So 6 years. I mean, that's kind of. Do you still feel like you're kind of in your infancy, or do you feel like you are matured, where you're kind of getting your mojo? You kind of understand where you're going.
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely say I understand where I'm going, but I'm
Mhm.
still a student of the game. So there's still a lot of stuff I have to learn, and I'm still very humble and still willing to take advice from any and everybody. So
Mhm.
definitely kind of got this thing moving forward as we wanted to, but definitely still a student of the game.
Okay, yeah. So what are some of those? So who are you studying? Where's some of those resources coming from? Who are you looking at?
Yeah, Jerry Lorenzo, Fear of God, Essential,
Hmm.
all of that, everything he does, I study to a T. He's just a different type of guy, man. I think his dad comes from a athletic background. Believe he was an athlete to a certain extent, and that's my whole background. I played Division I football. Coming out of football, I didn't really know what I wanted to do with my life. Got into a career that I'm still in aviation. But outside of that, kind of wanted to jump into fashion. I've always been, a fashionable guy, I guess you can say.
Hmm.
And so that's kind of what I pull from a lot. So Jerry Lorenzo, Pharrell Williams, those are my two.
Okay, those are good
Hmm.
ones.
For sure.
So, you know, we I hear that a lot, kind of talking to designers, how you are balancing um, your career. We like to call them day jobs or
Hmm.
whatever,
Hmm.
or, hustling all these, different things. Um, and a lot of it is because, to start this fashion game takes a lot of resources, a lot of money,
Hmm.
a lot of time. And, you kind of feel like, there's a while where you have to balance. Do you feel like um just generally that you are finding yourself ready to go all in, or are you, feeling like you still need that time, to stack things up on that side?
Yeah, that's a great question. And it's very ironic that you're asking that because I kid you not, for probably the last year and a half, I've been asked that question a lot by a lot of
Mhm.
different people in my company, outside of my company, things of that nature. To answer the question, I think I've been very blessed to find a healthy median on
Mm,
both and balance
good.
both of them out. So, like I said, the career I'm in, um, that is my lifetime career, right? And that's something I'm very passionate about, just like I'm passionate about designing. I've
Hmm.
always told anybody around me, don't be a one trick pony. So,
I love that.
this is just a situation where it's as long as it's a healthy balance, I think I'll continue to do both.
Yeah, I love that because so many people feel, pressured.
Hmm.
You have this creative side, and not to say that your day job can't be creative. I think creativity lies in so many different ways. It doesn't have to be a physical product that you're producing. It's
For sure.
ideas, it's, all kinds of things. So I like the idea that, like, hey, if you are enjoying both, if you are passionate about both, you do not need to choose a lane. Just,
For
you're
sure.
gonna try to balance and, and work it out, because that's
For sure.
what the joy of life is. You got to do what you're passionate about. So
Definitely.
so
Definitely.
I love that. But yeah, we try to kind of pin people into these buckets and categories, knowing that most of life doesn't work that way anyway.
Very much so. Very much so.
Okay. All right. So going into your designs themselves. So
Mhm.
where do you find most of your creativity?
I'm a very unorthodox designer. I don't do a lot of mood boards and things of that nature. A lot of my stuff comes from dreams. They come from
Mm.
situations where, what I'm going through at that time. Like I said, my brand name is Designed by Peace. My last name is Peace. And so in a world that we're living in, which is very chaotic, I think I can find designs and inspiration almost every day. And
Mhm.
so that's kind of, it's just an everyday life, going through life and living. That's where my inspiration is really coming from. So very unorthodox. I know it's not the, ABCD process of a lot of other designers, but I think that's what makes us very unique as well.
Yeah, and that's it's a process. It's your
For
process.
sure. For sure. For
So
sure.
that's good. And so in terms of like I guess like the nuts and bolts of what you're doing, you're still in the end having to come up with a product
For
that
sure. Yeah.
hopefully sells.
Oh, for sure.
So like where does some of that business mindset come in for you within this? Like what are those things that you're doing as a business owner, um, separate from the creative side that kind
Hmm.
of makes makes sure that you are going to survive another 6 years, 12 years, and so on.
I think giving people quality,
Hmm.
quality over quantity. You're never going to see us dropping, 100 different pieces at one time. It's always going to be quality stuff, though. We'll probably drop two or three times in a good year. And we don't do a lot of restocking. So it's a
Hmm.
situation where, these are pieces that you're not necessarily going to see all over the place. We want that exclusivity. And that's a big thing for us. But as far as the business part of it, supply and demand is a big thing. I learned that when I was in high school, right? So um, not coming in and oversaturating the market, not doing the exact same things that a lot of other people are doing. I tell anybody that would listen to me as far as how I started my brand, I didn't start off with t-shirts like a lot of other brand owners do and hoodies and things like that. I started with a nylon vest, just something that was polar opposite of what's been happening. And so just in a situation where, you gotta think outside the box, especially now when you have, AI and a lot of people biting off a lot of people and things of that nature. You kind of have to
Hmm.
be just kind of go super left, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But still keep it in the confines of it being digestible and people understanding it. 'Cause I think sometimes designers get into a place where they want to be so different where it's now people can't even digest it and they really don't understand it. So being
Yeah.
left enough to a point where it's different, but still being able to dissect that and digest that material and what you're trying to push and the narrative you're trying to push.
Yeah, and I think like what I'm hearing in that is maintaining that authenticity.
Very much
If
so.
you're leaning on AI or leaning on other people's ideas, that's gonna like show through almost immediately,
Very much
you
so.
know,
Hmm.
especially in the quality itself.
Very
So
much so.
it's like leaning into those things that made you start, those things that you value.
Hmm.
And on that note, so speaking of values and purpose and kind of finding that niche, that thing that says this is my authentic self, this is what I'm putting out in the world. What is your main purpose within your brand?
That's a great question. It's to spread peace. It's literally that simple.
Hmm.
To spread peace in a fashionable way. Um, like I said, we're in a world full of chaos right now, a lot of division, and my brand is about unity, it's about peace, and it's about being positive, even in situations that are very chaotic and may not always um, seem real, honestly. You know what I mean? I think we're all battling things. And so my thing is, what's something that always you can always feel confident in what you're wearing, and so in the midst of putting on clothes, I want those clothes still to have a really dope meaning and a really powerful meaning.
Yes,
So,
yes, I
so
love that. And spreading peace in this world.
mhm,
Number one, you were born a peace. So
for
uh,
sure, for sure.
put there. And it's just such a timely message for where we are today. So I think, that is never going to go out of style generally, but I mean, we're just in such a crazy time right now. So the
For
message
sure.
is there and it works. So in reference to I guess your branding, how you're getting that message out to people. How are you doing that in like the most authentic way possible?
Yeah. Visuals. That's always been our biggest thing. Like, um, if you kind of go on our profile, you'll see the quality and the thought process that we put into our visuals. Also, while obviously showing off the garments, right? But just putting those visuals out there, I think that's something that um, we take very seriously here. We're storytellers, all while still creating and making sure we're incorporating the garments in these visuals. But that's our biggest thing. Visuals, the whole aesthetic of the brand, not just throwing a bunch of stuff on there and hoping it sticks. Is everything we do is very intentional. And so that's kind of how we stay, authentic, and that's how we maintain our brand identity by just being authentic and um, you know, showing our brand through visuals. And when I mean visuals, I'm talking short films, long form videos, obviously editorials and stuff like that. But we do a lot of stuff with our videos. That's our main piece for sure.
Yeah, so like if you talk to some creators and some, founders, they are, obviously it's part of the game. It's a beast, to
Yeah.
do. But at this point, it's not only that you're having to design the actual garments, you're having to
Hmm.
really design this lifestyle
For
and
sure.
visual and the storytelling behind it. So
Hmm.
is that something that you personally do yourself, or do you have a team behind you that kind of helps to you know like feel those ideas and get them
Hmm.
executed?
Yeah. So it starts with me. But I definitely have a team under me that um, under and on the side of me that helps out, But when it comes to the actual plots and all those things, that always starts with me. And so, obviously, with it being my last name, being kind of the brand identity, kind of want to make sure that's still authentic. And how much more could it be as far as authenticity when it's not coming from the person that name is behind it? So we try to definitely keep it as authentic as possible with that piece of it. With my team also being able to assist me and say, hey, that was kind of trash. Let's do something different. We always, um, kind of go back and forth on what's gonna set us apart for sure, though.
Yeah. So I'm is it safe to assume that these are those dreams that you kind of come up with and they kind of turn into these stories and into these
Yeah, very much so. A lot of the visuals definitely come from dreams, which
Mhm.
is crazy. And if it's not a dream, it's when I'm in the sauna. I pretty much do the sauna every day,
Mhm.
at least 30 to 40 minutes. And that's my probably the only time that it's super quiet around here. And so
Mhm.
if it's not a dream, it's definitely me kind of just not even meditating because I don't really know how to meditate, but just kind of relaxing in the sauna and just easing my mind.
I mean, it kind of you might be meditating and not know that you're meditating.
Very much so. That's a great point.
Yeah, I always say that too. Like, oh, I can't, keep it still enough to do that. But sometimes I do sit in silence, or I will, like to drive in silence. Sometimes, there's sometimes you just need that like silence in your
For
head.
sure.
And
Yes.
someone told me, she was like, well, that's probably your form of, locking
Meditation.
and getting connected with yourself and meditating, just
For
not
sure.
sitting there Indian style, on the floor.
I believe it. It definitely makes sense.
So, okay, so tell me, so what do you have kind of coming up in 2026 that you're excited about?
Yes. So we're actually about to jump back on the road. We do this pretty much every year. This year it's called the Peaceful Tour. And that is when we're going pretty much across the United States as well as across the pond. So we'll be in Dubai as well as London this year as well. But the first stop is Saturday, New York Fashion Week. And we'll obviously be in Manhattan showing off this new collection that we have. So about 15 to 20 pieces. We're super excited to show.
Great. And
Hmm.
do you do any type of like pre-order, pre-collections for, your VIP fans, your loyalists? How do you help to set things apart for those that, kind of your ride or dies versus,
Hmm.
people that are just getting to know you?
Yeah, so we obviously do have we have a VIP kind of list that we'll send out and let them know, hey, if you want to go ahead and get this before it actually drops, you can.
Hmm.
But we just kind of started incorporating something on this tour list. So, like I said, we travel a lot. We'll be going. I believe we have 10 stops, 10 U.S. stops, and 2 overseas stops this year. But what we've incorporated this year was actually bringing some of our showpieces, bringing a few to every city. And so if you see something you like on the runway, you can go ahead and get it right now. It's not even on the website. It's
Hmm.
literally right here, right now, or you have to wait until it drops. So that's going to be exciting. We're going to see how that kind of plays out. But yeah, that'll be kind of the VIP thing. If you want to be a VIP person, come to the shows.
Yes, yes. So tell me, so with that, it's kind of an interesting uh, business move,
Hmm.
to kind of do these traveling shows. So
Hmm.
what made you decide to do that?
I was really blessed early on to pretty much be sponsored. I
Hmm.
haven't necessarily paid for too many shows.
Hmm.
I think one or two at the very max. Everything else has been sponsorships. So um, the business move was obviously when I first started, everybody uses Instagram, right? Everybody uses TikTok, all the social media platforms. And there are a billion brands, especially around this time when I was coming out. That's what everybody was doing. So once again, when we kind of go back to thinking outside the box, I don't see a lot of streetwear brands doing fashion shows. You
Hmm.
see a lot of the, dresses and the couture looks and things like that, but I'm not seeing a lot of streetwear brands doing those shows and actually going into crossing over, right? We
Right.
want to kind of stay in that one lane of, your social media, TikTok, your rappers, your athletes, all that, and we're still very much on that side of it as well. But there's a crossover that I think um, we were not afraid to kind of go into, and so that was just a business move I wanted to do because it was thinking outside the box. I wanted to get my brand out there a little quicker than what Instagram and social media could do,
Yeah. Hmm.
and the algorithm could do. I wanted to
Hmm.
actually show people, touch, feel, see what my product is,
Yeah.
and I promise you'll be hooked to it. So
Hmm.
everybody's stuff look good online, no offense, but
That's
let's see what it really looks like in the lights, and let's feel it, and let's see how durable it is.
yeah,
So
especially in streetwear because the fabrics are so important. Like
very much so.
the weight of them
Hmm.
is so important. You can go get, you know, uh, 120 gram,
Okay, you know a little bit, huh?
160 gram. You want that
Yeah,
60
yeah,
gram over there, you know.
for sure.
People only understand that when they feel it, when they can tell the quality, by touching and feeling. And you can see it sometimes in drapes and whatnot,
Hmm.
but that's such a good move to basically boots on the ground, bring it to the people,
For
you know,
sure,
and
for sure.
people really experience it. So
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
really, really interesting. And I think that's something that'll be, good for the community to hear is, to hear just different ways that you're getting yourself out there,
Hmm.
especially, like how we were saying, the content creation part takes so much time and effort, resources, and it is necessary to obviously, build a brand and to, keep that aspirational feel for people
Hmm.
to enjoy it. But that can also be overwhelming, for a solopreneur or, one
Very,
person kind of building
very
it.
much, very much so. And I will say this too, even just when you're getting on the road, another reason why we did this as well is to see. I'm an athlete. I was an ex-athlete, so constructive criticism is my best friend. I'm not afraid for somebody to tell me, "Hey, that's not good." And so, when you're in your hometown, majority of your people are going to be like, man, it's cool, it's tight, right? Like, when you're at hometown, that's safe. But when you go to an entire different coast where no one knows you, that's when the real critics and the real, feedback is going to come. So I wanted to go around the states, the United States and the nation and kind of see if we really had something, when in my backyard, of course I had something. Everybody loved it. It was cool, but as it's been very cool to see us go to the West Coast, to the East Coast, and then we just did Paris Fashion Week last year and get the same feedback from everywhere we've been.
Hmm.
So that's a really cool thing too. And I think that's a great I think you gotta put yourself through the ringer sometimes, especially as a designer and as a creative. You don't want to always hear everything you do is amazing because it's not true.
Yeah,
So yeah.
I love that. And just having some type of analytical piece of this in order to know
Hmm.
what to design next.
Yeah,
It kind of goes into that, boring corporate merchandising conversation.
for
But
sure.
you have to kind of look at your performance, look at your sales, at your analytics, and react off of them a little bit, and leave a little bit of room for just anything off the top of the head.
Yeah, yeah,
But just having more interactions and collecting more data points from your actual customers, people that are actually experiencing your garments, is so important. So that is
very
what
much so.
Ford Fashion Group is trying to, get out there, is more of that, like, yes, it's pretty and great and amazing, but we need to also make smart business decisions.
For sure, for
So,
sure.
so that's really, really good.
Hmm.
And so okay, so you are traveling the world at this point. Um, like what is your biggest dream for this?
I'm a Dallas-based. To me, I'm a Dallas-based brand, right? We're a luxury streetwear brand, and so um, putting Texas truly on the map as a fashion state. We're getting there. We're not quite there yet. When you're going to New York, when you're going to Paris, even LA, when you're going to these places, the feedback I'm getting is I don't my brand doesn't scream Texas. It doesn't because it's people just don't see this type of stuff coming out of Texas. Once again, I don't do a bunch of t-shirts and hoodies, and if I'm doing a hoodie silhouette, it's out of denim, which is like what I have on right now. And t-shirts, they're denim, they're not cotton and fleece and all that stuff. So um putting Texas on the map seriously in a big way is what I want to do. I want us to really have a true fashion week like the New Yorks and the LAs have. And people really respect it and come down here with, your A-list celebrities coming down to Texas and really wanting to be a part of this thing. That's my big thing here. We have a lot of dope designers, a lot of creative people just in Dallas. We're not even talking about Houston, San Antonio, and all the other cities we have in the state, but we have a lot of great things going on here, and I just really I want to be able to be one of the pioneers to highlight that. So outside of that, with my brand, I obviously want us to have our flagship store here right in downtown Dallas, and I think that'll happen in the next 24 months. So super excited about that too.
Well, that's an exciting thing to keep a lookout for.
For sure, you guys are invited too. For sure, we need to have a whole little podcast live at the flagship store.
Well, I
That'd
don't
be
know
amazing.
about my future as a podcast host, but I'll get some media training or something. I don't know.
All good, all good.
So yeah, we are itching for people to, you know, really leave a foundation here in Dallas for people, for all of these future students who are, grinding in school today. Like, we want them to see that they can stay in Dallas. So it's really
Hmm.
for us to highlight, people who are still trying to scale,
For sure,
but who are truly trying to, plant a foundation here for everybody else. So,
for
so
sure.
we appreciate that as for a fashion group. So,
Yes, ma'am.
so let us know, like what are some things that this community could do to support what you're doing.
Well, obviously buy our products, right? So www.designxpiece.com is where you can go and support by, buying some quality products and garments. Um, if you don't necessarily want to do that, because I will say a lot of our stuff is always sold out. So if you're not kind of right when it drops, you may not get your size or it may not be there anymore. So for
Mhm.
right now, I will say right now, I think our website is looking a little light as far as stock and inventory. But that will be changing on the 20th of February. So right when we get back from New York, we'll definitely be uploading the website. But if you just want to come, experience a DXP environment and see what we're truly about, I would tell you to come to one of our shows. And our next show in Dallas will actually be on March 14th. And so I'll
Okay.
send you the address so you can, if you want to kind of tag that wherever you want to, that'd be amazing. But come to one of our shows. I'll definitely have my manager of operations. Anybody that wants to come, we'll get you to reach out to him and we'll definitely try to hook you up. But come see what we're truly about in real life. Come touch our fabrics, come see what the whole production comes with and our models and all that stuff. I think that'll give you a clear understanding of who DXP is.
Awesome. Yeah. So we are definitely happy to support and get your brand out there. Exciting to see that, we worldwide out here,
Just trying to be a little bit.
worldwide. But yeah, we are really excited to, support. And, I'm looking at what you got on right now, and I'm like,
Hmm.
okay, I need that on myself.
Yeah, yeah, we can make it happen. I
So,
got you.
so I will be on that website.
Yes, ma'am. I appreciate it.
But anyway, yeah, we're really, really happy to share this, with the community. And I hope that, obviously your New York show goes amazingly well. Everything else goes amazingly well. And in the meantime,
Thank you.
looking for that information for March 14th so that
Gotcha.
people in Dallas can have a little taste of the experience.
For sure. We definitely appreciate your time and inviting us on your show.
Yes, thank you. We will
Cool,
talk to
cool.
you soon.
Yes, ma'am. Have a great night.
You too. Bye.
Thanks.